Good morning or good afternoon, which is when you're probably viewing this video. Today we're going to use a comparison diagram to compare fish. Now remember, when you're comparing two things, that is always subtraction. Always, always. When you're finding out which one is longer or which one is taller, which one is heavier, things like that. You're comparing two things and you always subtract. So today we're comparing fish. This time the fish will not eat each other and get heavier, which is when we used addition. Today we're just comparing how long they are. So if you take a look at the fish in this little chart here, you'll notice that fish B is 14 inches. Remember, IN is an abbreviation for inches, IN period. We always put in a period when we abbreviate. Fish C is 18 inches. Fish D is 24 inches. Fish H is 30 inches. Fish K is 42 inches. And fish L is a whopping 72 inches. So now that we know that information and we have this chart to refer to, or this table, or this illustration, whatever you want to call it, we can answer these questions and fill in our comparison diagrams. So number one says fish C is blank inches longer than fish B. Now remember, in the larger quantity box, we want to put the larger number, because when you subtract, you always begin with the larger number. So fish C, we see is 18 inches long. So they put fish C 18 inches in the larger quantity box. In the smaller quantity box, oh, and remember, quantity means how much, just a fancy way of saying how much. In the smaller quantity box, they put the smaller number, fish B, 14 inches. So now we are going to subtract 14 from 18. You can write that down on a piece of paper or in the margin of your book and do it old school, or you could do it in your head. I'm going to do it in my head. I know if I count up from 14 to 18, if I put 14 in my head and count up to 18, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I counted 4 times on my fingers. So the difference would be 4 inches. I abbreviated it by putting IN period. There you go. There's the difference. We compared the two fish by subtracting, and we found the difference or answer of 4 inches. Now let's go to number 2. Fish K is blank inches longer than fish H. So fish K was put in the larger quantity box because he is associated with a larger number. In fact, if you look here at fish K, he's 42 inches long. He is going to be the larger number. So we're going to put 42 in that space. Fish H is smaller, so he's in the smaller quantity or amount box. Fish H is 30 inches long, so we're going to put 30 here. 30 is less than 42, so it goes in the smaller quantity box. There we go. Now, on a piece of paper or in the margin of your math book or even on a whiteboard, you could write this old school. Write 42, write 30 underneath it, and subtract. Or you might be able to do this in your head. You can count from 30 up to 42. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put 30 in my head and then count up to 42 and see how many fingers I counted on. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So I counted on 10 fingers and then I counted on 2 more. I know that 10 plus 2 is 12. So the difference is 12 inches. Pretty easy peasy, right? All you have to do is fill in the comparison diagram, remembering that the larger quantity or amount goes in the larger quantity box, and then you simply subtract after you put your 2 numbers in. If you have problems remembering how to do old school subtraction, or if you need help counting from the smaller number to the larger number, you can always message me on Class Dojo and we can have a brief little Zoom meeting and talk about how to do that. Oh, but look at this. We don't want to be careless here. We want to fill in these blanks as well, don't we? I just noticed that. So for number 1, fish C is blank inches longer than fish B. That's where we put the difference. So let's write in that difference there. Let's be thorough, shall we? I don't like to leave anything blank. Here we found out that fish K is 12 inches longer than fish H because we subtracted. So let's put in a 12 right there. Okay, everything's filled in. I'm happy now. Okay, for your assignment, please do page 143.